Hi, welcome to Hansen Speed Shop. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be doing a Hot Wheels 1944, and we'll get to that in just a second. But before we get started here, I just want to thank everyone who's been subscribing and watching my videos. We've had a lot of new subscribers lately and been getting a lot more views on the videos, so thank you for that. If you're not a subscriber, if you feel like it, if you like what we're doing here and you dig the cars we're doing or any of the other cool stuff that we have here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the neat stuff happening here at Hansen Speed Shop. But this is the Hot Wheels 44. Now this car I actually kind of like just the way it is. Really, it's kind of a cool looking car, but we're gonna do some changes to it. We did 40 Ford quite a while ago. As you can see it there in my case, it's the white and purple one, and I really liked that car. And if you go back and watch that video, you might, or if you did, you might remember that I talked about at some point in time I'd like to do a 40 Ford as a gasser. And so that's what we're going to be doing with this one. And I picked this one out specifically because it's got this super cool yellow tint window. So that's going to work great for what I have planned for this car. So I've already got this thing drilled apart. And it's got this tan interior, which is not gonna stay tan. That'll get painted a different color, but this was like the main reason I picked this specific version of this casting was because I like these yellow windows, and it's gonna be perfect for a gasser. And then the chassis is really not going to get any modifying other than the axles. I'm probably going to leave the back axle in the stock location. We'll do a straight axle up front. Probably different wheels than those, especially in the front. And then the body, I know from doing my last build, these have some horrible casting lines on it. So even though this is kind of a cool paint job, and really you could, do something with this just as is. As you can see on the top of the fenders here, there's some horrible casting lines. Those have to get fixed. And then on the back fender here, there's one, and then it kind of runs up the top of the fender. And then we're going to also cut out these running boards, and then that's going to about do it for body modifications. So we'll get this car stripped and maybe start on some of the body work, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, right off the bat, I'm going to apologize. During this build, I was also working on a few other cars like I usually am, because like at any given time, I'm kind of working on at least half a dozen cars. I completely skipped over the whole build of this car, which I did not realize that I even did. Sometimes I just get wrapped up in doing something and I just kind of don't take the time, I guess, to film it, which I know a lot of people like to watch the entire build process, and I've been trying to incorporate more and more of that, but for some reason I thought that I was showing more of this build, but I kind of skipped over most of it. So I'll try to explain everything that I did, because we have moved right on to the final unveil of this car. Turned out super cool. So this is our Hot Wheels 40 Ford that we did up into a early 60s style gasser. And there's the car. Turned out really neat. Really, I only did 2 modifications to this car. One was I talked about cutting off the running boards of the car, and that was the first thing I did. And that was I used a Dremel to do that. Basically just made a few relief cuts, grabbed the thing with a pliers, snapped it right off. It actually comes off real nice and clean. Then you just got to go and do a little bit of detail work, clean it up. There was some really bad casting lines on this, which all these Hot Wheels 40 Fords have. Which you just gotta go, sand them out and whatever. So that's not that big a deal. And then I gave this thing the straight axle up front, but otherwise, for the most part, this is just the way it came from Hot Wheels. So then, other than that, we gave this thing a nice super high gloss black paint job. And then I did some cool like 60s drag logos on it. The B-Gas logo, and then it's got a Mickey Thompson MT logo below that. 427 Ford on the hood, and then a little teeny MH Racemaster logo on the front fender. This thing's running just the gray Hot Wheels 5-spoke wheels, fatties out back with narrows up front. I ran these just because I thought they kind of would give the car that old like magnesium wheel look, which I think looks really cool on here. I've done that, I think, on a couple of other builds. Or sometimes these work nice too if you do the outside ring like in a silver or chrome. They kind of will look like a torque thrust wheel. If you want that kind of a look and don't want to spend a lot of money, it's a good option. The yellow tinted windows look really cool. And then we did the interior just all satin black. Nothing super special inside the car, just all black. Underneath the car, I'll get a little piece of paper towel down here. So underneath the car, we just detailed the whole chassis out, super high gloss black. Detailed that axle, the front axle out in chrome, oil pans gloss red, detailed the tranny out. And then I did a set of headers on this thing out of aluminum tubing, like I do like on all my gassers. You can kind of see how I did that. So making the first side is always the easiest, bending it up and everything, and then it's just the hard part is making the other side then to match. So that's kind of, sometimes you might screw it up a couple of times to get them both exactly the same. And basically how I make those is just with this K&S aluminum tubing. I don't even remember what size this is, but I just bend it up out of that with the pliers and a cutting wheel with a Dremel, and that's all there is to it really. It's just kind of whatever look you want to go with on any particular car. So the grill's chrome stock from Hot Wheels, and then detailed out the headlights. That looks really nice. Here's a look at the driver's side of the car. This car did not have door handles from Hot Wheels, which is kind of weird. And this thing rolls really nice. As you can see, the back axle is kind of maybe a little too long, I guess. But I didn't modify that. I just threw it in the car the way it was. So this car turned out super cool. Again, I'm sorry I didn't get to show the whole build process like I wanted to, but also we detailed out the taillights. Chrome with the lenses are red. I think this car is a super cool, like early 60s drag car gasser look to it. Really happy with it. I hope you guys like it. If you do, comment below. Let me know what you think of the car. If you think it's super cool, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, because you're doing yourself a favor by keeping up to date with all the cool stuff we're doing here at Hansen Speed Shop. And if you are a subscriber, really can't thank you guys enough. It really means a lot to me that as many people as there are take the time out of their life to watch whatever I'm doing, and that just really means a lot to me that people actually care about the stuff I'm doing and think it's cool. And I encourage anybody to get out there and do this. And I'm actually going to be doing a video in the future really outlining the whole thing of what it takes to customize Hot Wheels and what it takes to do YouTube videos, and how to do it for the average guy, because you'll see when I make that video that very minimalistic, my whole setup, not a lot of money stuck into it, and you know, you can get by with a very little and still turn out super cool stuff. So look forward to that in the future. But otherwise, stick around for some pictures of the 44 gasser. Otherwise, get out, work on your own projects, get your hands dirty, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.